Hi everyone, Elisha here. Today I want to talk to you about multilingual word walls. So before we talk about what a multilingual word wall is, let's just talk about what a word wall is. So a word wall, they are actually lists of words that are displayed in the classroom so that students can visually see new words they are learning. Perhaps you are reading a book with your students and you would go through some of the complicated words and you would make a display showing the words and you would reference those words every day so that students could learn new words. So let's add multilingual in front of word wall and ask, what is multilingual word wall? A multilingual word wall is a list of words both in English and other language, whatever language represents the students in your classroom, that hang in the classroom so that students can visually see new words they are working on. So if your students are learning English, you would have all the English words that are complicated, ones you want to emphasize on, hanging in your classroom. And to help our emergent bilinguals, we would add the Spanish or whatever language is represented in your classroom. We would add that word right beside to help them learn both languages and help them reference English to Spanish to gain new knowledge of words. Here are some examples for elementary and middle school grades. The one on the left is simple words in both Spanish and English showing the days of the week. It's very simple but very necessary. I'm actually learning Spanish right now and have many word walls around my house with words relating to time, university terms, family terms, and greetings. I couldn't learn Spanish without word walls. The one on the right is for math class, geometry. Words in geometry are both written in Spanish and English, but this one is more descriptive with its images. The images add even more reference and scaffolding for English language learners. So I just want to show you a few word walls that I found online. I actually didn't find a lot of really solid examples. So I'm going to try to put something together for a book that I have been reading. I'm just starting to think of head of like my 7th and 8th grade class that I might teach. So I've been reading some books and marking some words to make word walls. So I am hopefully going to put that together at the end of this for you. But for now, I have 3 different images I found online. Now this is probably in a bilingual classroom that they've used this word wall on energy. What I would do for this, because obviously the goal working in a general classroom with English language learners, I am going to be teaching them English. That's the goal. But I also want them to be able to use their Spanish to help them learn English. And I want them to not lose their Spanish. So here is an example of a Spanish word wall. And what I would do is to add English words that go along with this, and also sentences would be written in English. But I love how they used images and then actual items that went along with each word. So I really like that word wall. And then cognates. One thing about me learning Spanish is it's almost really awesome when you see a cognate and it's almost like, oh, I don't really have to learn that word. You just have this feeling of relief, like it's almost the same as a word you already know. So I really think that cognate charts are really, I don't know, they just like, they make you feel good. Like you don't have to learn a million words. And this chart is only in English. So to make this multilingual, I would add Spanish words or whatever, whoever your students are in the classroom, you'd want to add those words. But the reason why I like this one a lot is I feel like it's very interactive. So like, for example, you might start with just these words and their Spanish, version of the word up there. And then as the children are learning, they could add their own definitions of what they think in their own words and also their own pictures to the chart. And I think this would just be a really fun way, because I think word walls can easily just be like room decorations they could become. And so I think that we need to have purposeful things on our wall that we will use. So I really like this one a lot. So here is a multilingual word wall that I have made for the book that I've been reading called Make Lemonade. I actually got this book for 7th and 8th grade, but as I'm reading it, there is some mature content, so I'm just a warning for you. I'm thinking maybe it would be better for maybe 9th through 12th. I haven't got to the end of it to see what actually happens, but so just a warning on that. But this is a word wall that I made, and so these are just 4 words. There's quite a few words in here that I think I would have to introduce to my students depending on their language levels. So what I did was I have the English words all here, the Spanish words, because that is the only language represented in my classroom, and then also a definition in English and a definition in Spanish, and then a visual picture to show, what they mean. So that is, I guess, all I have to say about multilingual word walls. I think they're super important. It's very, very simple, but super important. And I couldn't imagine learning another language without them. And the visual component of it is really good for visual learners as well. I'm a visual learner, so I can, a lot of times, if I have a picture that represents a word in my mind, I'll go back to that picture and then remember the word. So I think it's really important. So thank you so much for watching my whatever this is called. But thank you so much and have a good day. Bye.